अस्सलामु अलैकुम। आज हम इंट्रो नहीं प्ले कर रहे इसलिए कि इंट्रो के साथ हमें कुछ प्रॉब्लम टेक्निकल हुई। तो अगर इंट्रो प्ले करते तो वो कल की ब्रॉडकास्ट का होना था, जिससे कंफ्यूजन पैदा होना था। तो आज जुमेरात का sorry, this is supposed to be in English. I started off in Urdu again. Let me repeat myself that we decided not to play the intro today because we had a technical difficulty with it. So rather than cause confusion, we chose not to play it. Today is Thursday, the 14th of October 2021, and in our series Reflections on the Holy Quran, this is broadcast number 264. And over the last few days, we've been looking at the Holy Quran, chapter 2, Al-Baqarah, verse 93. And this is the 8th broadcast in that sub-series. Just to remind you that the Lahore Ahmadiyya community was founded by Hazrat Mirza Ghulam Ahmad Sahib, and his teaching was that although there are people who want to bring another prophet after the Holy Prophet Muhammad, the Quran says that the Holy Prophet Muhammad was the Khatamun Nabiyyin. And the Holy Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, Ana Khatamun Nabiyyin wa la Nabi Abadi, that I am Khatamun Nabiyyin and there is no prophet after me. So this was the Holy Prophet's interpretation of these two words. So now no prophet will come, whether an old prophet or a new one, no prophet will come. And the companions of the Holy Prophet Muhammad asked that other people had gone astray after their prophet died. So if this happens to Muslims, what will happen? And the Holy Prophet said that God will send reformers, mujaddideen, who will come and reform these people. And others have pointed out that this will lead to a difference of opinion. And he said that, people are very keen to call each other heretic and kafir and out of fold of Islam and this and that and so on. But the Holy Prophet Muhammad said that if one reciter of the kalima says to another reciter of the kalima that you are not a Muslim, then it is the person saying it who is not a Muslim. So severe so damning was the Holy Prophet Muhammad's view of this heresy making that Muslims indulge in so much. And Hazrat Mirza Ghulam Ahmad also taught that there are people who say that some of the prophetic revelation has been missed out from the Holy Quran. And Hazrat Sahib taught that like Surah, Rajam and Ayah, Walayat and so on. But Hazrat Mirza Ghulam Ahmad Sahib pointed out that cannot be. Because God said in the Holy Quran that I have revealed it and I am its guardian. So, how can any part of the prophetic revelation to the Holy Prophet be missing? God is guarding it. Similarly, there are people who say that some verses of the Holy Quran are abrogated. People refer to more than 500 verses which they say are abrogated. But Hazrat Mirza Ghulam Ahmad Sahib said that this is wrong. No verse of the Holy Quran was, is, or ever shall be abrogated. They are all effective. And Hazrat Mirza Ghulam Ahmad Sahib stressed very much the need for jihad. He said, jihad is a duty of every single Muslim, and every single Ahmadi must conduct a jihad on a daily basis. But jihad as defined by the Holy Prophet Muhammad, not by Maulana this and Maulana that and so on. It's the Holy Prophet's definition, who said, when returning from fighting, he said that Muslims are returning from the minor jihad to the major jihad, and then explained that the major jihad is jihad bin nafs, a struggle against your own self and your own soul, to make sure that you subdue your desires, which may lead you to do the wrong thing. So let us turn to the verse of the Holy Quran, chapter 2, Al-Baqarah, or the cow, verse 93. وَإِذْ أَعُوذُ بِاللَّهِ مِنَ الشَّيْطَانِ الرَّجِيمِ بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم وَإِذْ أَخَذْنَا مِيثَاقَكُمْ وَرَفَعْنَا فَوْقَكُمُ الطُّورَ خُذُوا مَا آتَيْنَاكُمْ بِقُوَّةٍ وَاسْمَعُوا قالوا سمعنا وعصينا وأشربوا في قلوبهم العجل بكفرهم قل بئس ما يأمركم به إيمانكم إن كنتم مؤمنين. And when we made a covenant with you and raised the mountain above you, take hold of that which we have given you with firmness and obey. They said, we hear and disobey. And they were made to imbibe the love of the calf into their hearts on account of their disbelief. Say, evil is that which your faith bids you, if you are believers. So today we are going to look at the words. This is the last phrase in this sentence. So we look at the first two words of it, qul and bi sama. In fact, we dealt with qalu, and qul is from the same family. But I want to deal with qul for a special reason. So let's start. Now, You would have heard me say many times that what happens is that you have a word in Arabic, and before it or after it, you might have the pronoun added and the conjunction added, and so on. And if you remove those, you get the word. And if you remove such extra letters, you will also find the root, the triliteral root. And most Arabic words have come from roots, so that you have three letters of the root, and then they're combined in different ways to make different words. Now, with this word, we notice the fact that the word itself is qul. The word is two letters. It's not three or more letters, two letters. So let us see what the dictionary tells us. It tells us that its root is qaf, wa, lam. The word is two letters, but the root is three letters. And it occurs frequently in the Holy Quran, in fact, 1722 times, and in 6 different forms. In other words, 6 different words are made by combining these letters and these letters with other letters. 1618 times you have the verb qala, and 92 times you have the verbal noun qawl. Well, that takes care of most of these. 5 times you have qa'il, and 4 times you have qeel, and twice you have takawwala, and once you have aqawil. So what does it mean? It means to say. This is the most common meaning, but it also means to believe, to think, and so on. And you have to go a long way down the list. I've got a list here of all the places in the Holy Quran where it is used, but you have to go down a long way, because you saw that 1600 times, one format was used 1600 times. So it's only once you pass those that you will get other forms. I was trying to see if I can, and I'm still scrolling through. So let's get to the dictionary. So as I said, al-qawlu and al-qila, they mean what you say. So, for example, وَمَنْ أَصْدَقُ مِنَ اللَّهِ قِيلًا, chapter 4, verse 22. Who is more truthful in saying than Allah? Qila. And its meanings are, number one, that any collection of letters or words that come from your tongue, from your mouth. And all can be one letter, it can be a sentence, it can be a word, it can be a whole speech or Jummah khutbah. But interestingly, despite what I said just now, all also applies to what's in your mind, what you haven't expressed with your tongue. وَيَقُولُونَ فِي أَنفُسِهِمْ لَوْلَا يُعَذِّبُنَا اللَّهِ. Chapter 58, verse 8. And they say in their hearts. So, obviously, if they're saying it in their hearts, then it's not on their tongue. That it's still yaquluna. The same word is used. Opinion, belief, the same word is used. وَلَنْ يَقُولُوا بِقَوْلِ أَبِي حَنِيفَةَ. Yani Falan, so-and-so, Falan being so-and-so, follows the opinion of Abu Hanifa. So obviously, that's his opinion that he has expressed in whatever. So the fifth meaning is to believe in something, to truly believe in something. And the sixth thing is, it can also mean the ultimate. For example, if you're praising something, like jewelry or whatever, that, there's nothing comparable to this diamond or whatever it is. But an important thing to remember is that it also means God's speech. And some people say, well, it only applies to inspiration or ilka, as it's called, and ilham and so on, and it doesn't include wahi, etc. Now, the Quran doesn't say anything like that. The Quran simply uses this word. For example, chapter 18, verse 86 says, Qulna ya Zulqarnaini imma an ta'adhiba. So, Qulna, don't trouble them. We said. Qulna, we said. God says, I said. Now, but then the commentators would say, well, God saying here means this and means that and so on. But that is their interpretation. So, and then you have, if it means ilham and ilka, an idea put in someone's heart, then how do you explain chapter 21, verse 69, which says, Qulna ya naru kuni bardan wa salama. We ordered the fire. We said to the fire, Qulna. We said to the fire, cool down. Now, people who argue that this means inspiration and not revelation and and an idea put in someone's heart. So how did God inspire the fire? How did God put an idea into the fire's heart that it is to cool down and it is not to injure and so on? So it can mean God, basically it means God addressing something. Could be a human being, could be fire. And in other places in the Holy Quran, different words are used, but it says, we gave wahi to the honeybee. So, what is that? So, and this is a problem, that what happens is that first we make a belief that this is so, and then we set about finding verses in the Holy Quran to justify our belief. What we don't do, which is what we should be doing, is to look at the Holy Quran and see what our belief should be. And that's what we don't do. We go the other way. First coin a belief, and then try and justify it from the Holy Quran. And start fighting with people who disagree. So, as I said, Qaf wa lam, as I said, it means anything, a letter, a word, a speech, an idea, a belief which you haven't expressed. But metaphorically, it is also used to hit, to overcome, to die, to concentrate, and to find contentment, and so on. This is why I keep on saying that, Arabic language and the meanings of its words are so wide that you need to be very careful when you interpret them, and so on. So the next word, bi sama, and its root is ba hamza sin. And there are two segments to it. Ma at the end, relative pronoun, and bi sa at the beginning. So it occurs in the Holy Quran 73 times in 6 forms. 40 times as bisa, and 25 times as bas, and 4 times as basa, and twice as tabtais, and once as bais, and once as bais. So it the word refers to injury, difficulty, hardship. There are in fact 3: al-bus, al-bas, and al-basa'u, and all 3 are the same. It is also used for physical injury and so on. So, for example, chapter 6, verse 42 says, فَأَخَذْنَاهُمْ بِالْبَأْسَاءِ وَالضَّرَّاءِ. And because of their disobedience, we would punish them by subjecting them to difficulties and pain and so on. And this is repeated, this idea, the same idea, in chapter 2, verse 177. وَالصَّابِرِينَ فِي الْبَأْسَاءِ. That in difficulty and pain, they remain steadfast. And it also means to be sad, sorrowful, etc. Now, there's one thing you must remember about this verse, or this word, and that is this, that the Holy Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam disliked people humiliating themselves to get something, especially those who are in need and so on. And we see this all the time. I was sitting with a very high official, and his boss rang, and he was talking about, the boss was talking about his wife coming to the UK. And this person, although in his own right he was a very high official, he was saying, "Sir, don't you worry about it. What is your servant for? And, I will serve the lady, and you don't have to worry about anything," and this and that. And so he was really humiliating himself. And in fact, he was satisfying his boss that, "Don't worry about it. I'll misuse public resources to show your wife round London and other places." But the way he was doing it, it was as if he was literally licking this person's boots. And the Holy Prophet disliked this. He welcomed people giving their opinions openly and freely. And this happened many times. At Badr, a companion, radiallahu anhu, went to him and said, "O Prophet of Allah, the way you've arranged the army, is that under divine guidance, or you arranged it in the best way you thought?" And the Holy Prophet said, "Well, this is not under divine command. These are my ideas." And the companion said, "Well, in that case, you might want to consider what I have to say." And then went on to propose a different arrangement for the army. And the Holy Prophet, thought about it, and he said, "You're right." He didn't say, "I'm the Prophet of Allah. Who the hell are you to tell me how to how to arrange the army and so on?" And that is the point, that people don't give their opinions freely because they think, and really, this leads to another idea. If you're humbling yourself, if you're humiliating yourself before someone else, then you're treating this person akin to God. That's what you're doing. There is also the another thing. When you're in need, then do you go and humble yourself before a person who can fulfill your need? What do you do? Hazrat Abu Bakr used to be in need. He had many rich companions of the Holy Prophet around him. Hazrat Usman Raziyallahu ta'ala. But he didn't beg them. He didn't ask for money. although he had to wind up his business to become the Khalifa, and so on. So this self-respect, keeping your back straight and standing up and not bowing or cowering to other people just because they're richer than you, or they may have more, I don't know, power in some way, political position, etc., etc. This is impressed by the Holy Prophet, by the Holy Quran, and so on, that you bow only to Allah. You don't beg other people for things. So, with that, we have come to the end of today's broadcast. Tomorrow we have Friday, so we'll broadcast as 1 p.m. at 1 p.m. UK time, Friday sermon, and then on Saturday at 2 p.m. 1400 hours, we'll broadcast on a WhatsApp group called Pure Discussions. We'll broadcast. The title of the broadcast is Iqbal and the Ahmadiyya Jamaat. On Sundays, we don't have any broadcasts. So, sorry, on Pure Discussions, the broadcast is in Urdu and not in English. And on Sundays, we don't have any broadcasts. And inshallah, we will see you on Monday. With the prayer that whoever you are and wherever you may be, may Allah keep you safe and sound and free from harm. Assalamu alaikum. Khuda Hafiz. Goodbye.